Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? How are we doing? Okay, geez. The dogs need attention. What is up, everyone? Yeah, so part of the reason for the title is I want to talk to you guys about Romania. If you hadn't seen the news, allegedly, well, like we know something hit, right? Like there was damage, but a Russian suicide drone hit somewhere in Romania. Now, this could be due to a couple of different things. Like there's so many aspects that affect this. Jamming can make a drone go off course. Russian incompetence can make a drone go off course. I mean, there's so many factors that play in here. And then there's always the possibility, I think it's a low possibility, but a possibility of a false flag. Now, you're always going to have those people that, oh, they plan this. Look, it's like the same people with the assassination attempts against the president. They always think it's a false flag and it's staged. And I guarantee if God, heaven forbid, some lone assailant succeeded, they would say that it was a government conspiracy. Like, I try to follow facts as much as I possibly can. And it's just kind of illogical. Like, Ukraine has put up a very impressive defense. Like, I'll be honest with you, I was one of the guys that I thought 3-4 days, this is over. Like, I thought they were going to get steamrolled. I have been incredibly impressed with the Ukrainian defense. I've also been woefully embarrassed by the Russian attack. Like, it was no bueno. So, actively targeting civilian infrastructure, Romania didn't even do anything. So here's the thing. There was someone in my comment section. I was talking on Twitter earlier. I brought this up and I was like, hey, reminder, Romania is a member of NATO. This is well within the bounds of what could be an Article 5 activation. Now, historically, only one country has ever activated it. Us. Kind of happens when a couple of our buildings get taken down by dudes in turbans with box cutters. And if anyone gets offended by that, fuck you. I don't care. Like, that's legitimately, I mean, they may not have been wearing turbans on the flights, but they're fucking Islamic extremists. I will never defend terrorism, ever. From long balls, thank you. When you poop so much, you lift off the seat. What are we even talking about here? Since you did a Star Destroyer versus the U.S., would you ever do a Covenant CAS assault carrier from Halo versus the USA? Everything is on the table. Somebody also wanted me to do a battle cruiser from Warhammer 40K, and I'm starting to get into Warhammer. I don't know enough about it, but so Poland is salivating right now. And that's the thing. I'm trying to understand everything that's going on, and this is the thing. Why do I not think this is a false flag? Let me first kind of like shape that out for everyone. The reason why this doesn't pop up as a false flag to me is hitting an apartment building. No. If you want to do a proper false flag, there are American forces all over Europe. And if you want to trigger that Article 5, all you got to do is go for us. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. If I try to put myself in the enemy's, potential enemy's shoes, if I wanted to do a false flag, I'm going for the one guy I know is going to activate Article 5. Like, full stop, okay? Damage is also consistent with the drone, probably a Shahhead or a version of a Shahhead. Everyone's kind of using that now. Hell, even us with the, what is it, Locust? Low cost something. I think it's Locust. Russian MO too. Yeah, it doesn't vibe with a false flag to me. It doesn't smell like one. It's not a strategic target. It's not a tactical relevance. It wouldn't, attacking an apartment building. Yeah, but it's not gonna get the same kind of response that you would get from a strategic target. Touch the boats or land yachts. Yeah, you touch our boats. There's 2 Aegis Ashore systems in that country, one of which is in Poland, one of which is in Romania. Well, I say that country, sorry. Europe is not a country. It's a continent. I got it. One is in Romania. The other one is in Poland. Both of those are hugely vital strategic assets for the U.S. and our allies. That's probably what I would pick. If one of those got hit by a Shahhead, number one, I'd be like, were the operators fucking sleeping? And number two, I'd be like, this smells very false flaggish, because Russia wouldn't have the balls to do something like they're licking their wounds right now. I don't care any way you want to. Ukraine's not much better. Like, for anyone who's winning, well, winning is which metric do you want to go off of? Who controls more land? Well, in Ukraine, Ukraine does. Well, who's had more casualties? Those are about even, give or take. Sometimes, depending on the month, Russia has more, Ukraine has more. There's a lot of metrics to go into this. Me personally, I go off of the metric of, like, before this war started, who was in a better financial and tactical decision, which was Russia. And now Russia is at circumstantially a stalemate. So I'm trying to pay attention to those things. You said sounds like Black Sheep. Basement knife fight vibes there. Yeah. I'm trying to keep up. Man, there's a lot of stuff coming in. Thank you guys all. You don't have to donate. I'm trying to read as much as I can. Sorry, I read that one already. Oh, I did that thing again. I hate it when it does that. Getting back in the up and up after the house fire, and even applied my state's capital city police since care package made me cry. Thank you, Isaiah. I'm glad you got it, my dude. I don't like making. I'm like a G in lasagna. I move silently, okay? I do things for people. It's not a common thing. It's not for everybody, but Isaiah did reach out to me, had a house fire, pretty much lost everything. I reached out to Bunker, said I want to send him some stuff. He's a supporter, and Bunker put together a whole bunch of other stuff in there themselves. They were like, we would like to support. And I was like, honestly, I don't know this guy from Adam. He could completely be full of shit. And they're like, that's fine. That's a risk we're willing to take. Cool. And they did it. And I'm glad you got all that stuff, man. Apparently, YouTube doesn't like me calling you short. In other news, Pepperbox exclusive with Mr. Watson, Jake, and the Fat Man. I'm working on the fat thing, okay? Polling sitting here like, why him? Take me instead. I'll 1v1 you, you fucking curva. Let me see. What is up, HLC? Still at work. My lady Erin is giving the license a try tonight. I told her you were a short bus special, but really funny. Well, hey, welcome, Erin. We're going to talk about some weird stuff, but yeah. I like doing, that's one of the benefits of being in the position that I am. I really do like to help people. I mean, I grew up with almost nothing, and that's part of the reason I really gravitate towards the unsub guys is we all came, I mean, we had, loving homes. We love our family, right? We have a little bit of, there's some issues in all our families, right? But we do love giving back. And that's why I really gravitated towards those guys, because none of them think their shit don't stink. None of them think that they're above anybody else. Like, they're all just very down-to-earth, humble people, and I really gravitate towards those guys. Answering a question from video earlier today, the fight on the White House lawn is part of events leading up to the 250. Events plan doesn't seem political, unlike drag show or flying pride flags there. Agreed, okay? I'm with you there. Like, I know it's for the 250th. It's really hard to like talk about this because so many people get kind of offended, like they get very defensive of their political party or who they support, and that's okay, right? The argument could be made that we were a nation that was born of fighting. We fought for our right to exist. I agree, right? And that could be symbolic in that way. I don't know if a UFC fight at the White House really encapsulates a 250-year history. Nothing against it. Like, it's, I got it. It's being funded by the UFC. Dana White's going to take care of it. I mean, I get that. I don't know. I feel like there are better ways to encapsulate the American spirit over the last 250 years. I came for the Article 5, but I expect sad raptor noises. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit, man. Doc, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm going to try and get caught up here. Also, did you know Florida technically has its own army called the Florida State Guard? It's separate from the Florida National Guard and can't be federalized by the president. Really? I actually didn't know that. I may have to look into that. It's kind of sad because I did already just record my USA versus the world. It's currently in edit. I'm hoping to have it out this weekend sometime. And Florida plays a pretty significant part in everything. Going 56 mics. Hey, we absolutely love our chaplain assistants. I ship to basic whenever we finish paperwork. Whenever I get the decision, my expedited heavenly shipping waiver. Expedited heavenly shipping. That's a thing? No, Article 4, much less Article 5. Yeah, no, am I the only one? By the way, YF23, hey, thank you for serving, man. It's a rough time right now. And I talked about this with Cappy, and There's a stupid
Would you
feeling that I
intercept
have. Gary, holy
I'd
shit.
intercept me.
The drone strike could be a false flag, as the Russians have been deliberately targeting Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. They could be mimicking the Russians. In that aspect, BTW, I'm stuck at home with my almost 2 years /O kid. Send help.
I mean, if you were my dad, probably teach them how to shotgun beers in the bathtub. Do it with soda until they're at least 10 years old. But yeah, I mean, I was probably 5, 6 around the time that my dad taught me how to do that. That was, you know, because it spills everywhere the first time. So he's like, we're going to do it in the bathtub. Boy, I'm going to show you how to do this. Yeah. It's really surprising I turned out the way I did. Did you see Chinese illegals were caught at the border in Texas with camos? No, actually, I didn't. I'd kind of like to know what that's about. I know that a former or currently sitting mayor or something in California was in trouble for that. $2 for your gym membership, sir. Go bully rich. I have been going to the gym consistently. Maybe my workouts need to change. I'm stronger than I ever was in the Army, but the Army wants you to be thin. They don't really want you to be strong. Although, like, right as I was kind of getting out of the military, they did bring up that, like, hey, if you score over this much on the PT test, then you don't have to get height and weighted. I would have loved that. I would have been fucking diesel my whole career. But they wanted me to be thin. So I had to pretty much starve myself. I was in a caloric deficit for most of my entire career. Except for like when work was incredibly busy and I was just like, I'm going to just take whatever calories I can get. I saw a crazy report that 1/25 of Russian military age males have died in this war. 1/16 of Ukrainian men under the same age group have also died. It's been a violent, bloody war. And I really thought that, you know, I used to make the statement when I was learning about like World War II, World War I, and I'm like, I'm so glad that trench warfare is a thing of the past. It sounds just so brutal and violent and close. And 2022, look what the fuck happened. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's insane. If I remember correctly, Article 4 determines the threat. Well, you always gotta, you know, what is it? The MDMP, identify the threat, identify threat courses of action. Oh, fuck. It's part of the IPB and MDMP. IPB is intelligence preparation of the battlefield. MDMP is the military decision-making process. I had to teach it. That's the only reason. That just stuck out of me. We need a long balls t-shirt. You just see like the upper veins of the sack just in the whole shirt, collar all the way down. New Call of Duty North Korea invades South Korea with Ukraine like trench warfare. Wait, is that part of the new Call of Duty? Also, I saw a screen grab from the new Call of Duty. It's like they crossbred an F-35 and an F-22 and then gave it canards. I saw that on Twitter and I responded. I was like, what have they done to my boy? Look, I used that meme like, look how they massacred my boy. Yeah. Hey, buddy, your Iranian American friend here. Dude, not all of us are brown. Most of us are white. Tell Grandpa Buff to tone it down on that one. Missed your lives. Good to catch one. I'm glad you're here. Asoftco or something like that. I'm sorry. I remember you. Persians are Aryans. I know, but like, I mean, that part of the world's kind of brown. Just saying. Technically, yes, Persians are absolutely Aryans. And I want everyone to be clear, and I try to make this clear in my videos, that I understand there is a clear distinction between the IRGC and the rest of the Iranian public. Like the people of Iran who are ethnically Persian. There is a drastic difference between the two there. I'm fully aware of that. We need clips of Nick's crashing the dollar for crypto conspiracy. I need to share it with my non-pepperback tin hat plops. I've eaten too many crayons and time to explain it properly. Bro, I texted Nick about that. I was like, dude, I'm not trying to say like everybody does it, but I'm very close to the Mexican border down here. So there's a lot of cash transactions that aren't reported as income to the federal government because taxation is theft. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I can say that because of how much I've spent on taxes in the past couple of years. It's insane, right? I can say that. Taxation is theft. But if we go full digital currency, bro, how am I going to be able to pay those people under the table like that to do work? That's just whack, bro. That's just whack. Drop bears. What about drop bears? Um, expedited heavenly shipping forever. Oh my God. I've never heard that before. Expedited heavily shipping. That's actually really funny. Wolfram, I was playing Roadcraft with him the other night, or the last night, and he said, "You wash your mouth out with muzzle flash," and that's fucking hilarious. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. And not very many of my following watch these lives, and there is a joke that I have, and I might save it for Veterans Day, and I let Wolfram know that last night, and I was like, the joke I have, just haven't had a reason to use it, and you guys are going to be like, that's so fucked up for Veterans Day, but veterans are going to find it hilarious, is, all these women, you watch these shows about women like, snapped, and they snap on their husband and they kill their husband, and it's like, you don't even got to go that far. Really. Just convince him to enlist. After one contract, you got like a 40% chance he's going to do it himself. I hate how accurate it is, but it's hilarious. I thought of that the other day and I was like, that's a gold joke. I need to find a reason to use that. Just got my first job at a Mexican restaurant. Best people ever. I'm 16. Oh yeah. Mexicans, I will tell you this, and I learned this from Instagram. Right? Everyone's like, that's bad, but it's great. All the vets in chat probably are pissing their pants right now. But what was it? Apparently working with Mexicans they will take like the most traumatizing thing from your history and make it a nickname for you. And I've never heard something more true in my entire life. Like there was a guy, he's like, they found out I was Muslim and they called me Little Bombito, which is little bomb. And dude, just some of this shit, they call one of the guys Simba because his uncle killed his dad. Like, dude, Mexicans are ruthless. You guys ever watch the show, the guys on like Instagram and YouTube that do like the back off challenge? Like they're talking trash to the golfers and they try and get them to back off the tee by laughing. Those dudes need to hire like a Mexican work crew. I'm telling you, it'll be so much worse than anything you could ever imagine. The shit that they come up with, you get a couple of Hispanic dudes working in the same job together, their shit talking is on a whole other level that people cannot compete with. My brother, he's significantly thinner than me. He's smaller. He's kind of, gangly. And I was, that was when I was lifting a lot more and I was like more built and everything. And, I was sitting there talking to him and these two Hispanic dudes, he was working at a tire shop. They're like laughing behind the counter. I was like, what the hell's so damn funny? He's like, hey man, it's like looking at Vin Diesel and Vin Petrol, man. I'm fucking rolling. Dude, they're so just off the wall, man. It's insane, man. It's so good. Yes, they will. Nickname Sparkplug at fire department because I watched an electrician got hit with 240 volts. Yeah, dude, they're ruthless. They're fucking ruthless, dude. Oh, Poland slowly becoming the European F-22. Everyone else gets to play with Russia. Dude, Poland, they had a few Russian overflights from Kaliningrad, I think. Cuba may have a new tourism industry in the future. I absolutely agree. Look, I'm going to let it kind of out of the bag here. I did my USA versus the world on USA versus Cuba, and I didn't pull any punches. I said the whole USA military. We didn't even need that. It is overtly on our team without even the gas shortages. Like it is clubbing baby SEALs level of fighting that we're going to incur. Dude, it's bad. It's so bad. Like if I was that close to the US, that close to a nation that powerful, I would not be talking shit. I would not. Nope. If it's just when I go over the numbers and everything else like that in my USA versus the world, you guys are going to see it and be like, oh dear God. Yeah, no, like you want to ground the Cuban Air Force? One F-22, maybe. You could probably do it with an F-15 because you can carry more missiles. But like the whole Cuban Air Force, one aircraft. Dude, it's insane. Love your vid on the USS Enterprise. Oh, Animarchy's in here. What is up, my dude? I'm like a little behind on things. Oftentimes what is old is new. Come military tactics, new ways of hacking. It always comes from the past. Also, A-10 is better than the F-22. Well, I'm sure Weapons likes that take, but it's not ground in reality because they're both designed for different things. I mean, the A-10 is a significantly better cast platform than the F-22 probably, but the F-22 is a much more dominant fighter in the air than the A-10 is. So, really depends on it. Really depends. Everyone's here. Like everyone showed up for the Article 5 thing. Let me get caught up with some of these, and then we'll get back into it. Okay. Didn't Teddy used to box on the White House lawn? He did. He did. There's also been pistol duels on the White House lawn. There's been a bunch of shit. Also, I think we'd sooner make the sky over Russia look like the fourth does in Texas. That's my thing, right? I try and push all politics aside with the 250th, right? And like, what are we really getting out of this? It's not costing us anything. That's great. You know, the UFC is paying for it. I don't know. Like, and I'm trying to look at it as bipartisan as I possibly can. Like apolitical. I'm not on a team. Bipartisan and apolitical are two very different things. I know that. But, you know, as apolitical as I can. And it's just, and I mean, every president's done it in modern history. They do, you know, publicity stunts. And I don't know if this is the right way to encompass a 250-year history like ours. I don't know if it's the right call. I really don't. I understand that fiscally it is responsible to do it this way. Totally get that. I know that President Trump and Dana White are very close, and they have been very close for years. I get it. I totally get it. It completely makes sense to me in that aspect. I just feel like there's I mean, I don't know what else they have planned. I didn't really look into that too far, but I just feel like there are better ways to encompass the 250-year history. A lot of people are saying it's like gladiator fights. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I would, I mean, I don't like using the term gladiator fight because that's a very let them eat cake type situation, but God, we just want affordable housing, man. Like, we want affordable gas. We want affordable housing. I understand that sometimes you got to just go kick the wolf's door in and be like, stop your shit. I get it. That makes sense. But shit, man, like USA is not paying for the UFC thing at all. Oh, I know. No. Dana White is paying for all of it. I get it. I get it. I also want to know, like, and I haven't looked into this. Do you guys think it'll be just open air? Like everyone can see it? Like it'll be just on the regular TV? Because if it's pay-per-view, that's kind of fucked up. You're at the people's house that is paid for by the people, and it's a private event. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm just, yeah. Hannah Markey goes, if I speak. Quick quiz on how was Australia in Afghanistan and how long ball, shoulder satchel bag, or bum bag would make it long, not wide. Oh, dear God. I didn't work with the Australians in Afghanistan. I did work with them in UAE. I saw the Canadians in Afghanistan. Well, Canadian Special Forces, or whatever they're called. I don't know. I did see them in Afghanistan briefly. They showed up in my AO, didn't tell anybody, shot some people, blew open a door, and then walked past where we were living, which was an Afghan dude's house. And I was like, yeah, those aren't Taliban. I don't really know what hi. And they were like, hey, and they just kept on. They just rolled right on by. They had like 30 dudes in zip cuffs. And okay, bye. Like, I don't know. But the Australians I worked with in Afghanistan, this is the thing, and this isn't an American thing. This isn't an Australian thing. This isn't, a British thing or a Canadian thing. I am all about people who are there to do the fucking job. That's where my care is. And when the Australians were there working with us, they, for about 3 or 4 months, were our fuelers. They would show up on our site, say, what needs fuel? And I'd say, hey, go fuel my radar over there. We'll have an operator stand by with you. Just hand him the hose. We got, X amount of launchers downrange. I don't know if I'm allowed to say how many launchers we have. I think I am, but I'm just not sure. They each need fuel. We have this generator for the BCP back here that needs fuel. We have this, and they were like, bet, let's do it. And they just get to work, head down, do the work, do the job. And after a little while, they knew exactly what had to be fueled. They'd roll onto our site and they would pull up by the radar because that was the closest thing. And they'd be like, someone's going to come out and fuel me. I know it. Or, grab fuel. And I'm all about that. I'm all about that life. Stark contrast when the Air Force took over. They rolled onto our site and they're like, hey, we were told to only fuel the jerry cans. And I was like, we don't have, like, that'll work for the launchers because launchers don't burn that much fuel. But like my radar, she's a thirsty bitch. I mean, you're putting 150, 200 gallons in every 12 hours. Like She's a thirsty bitch. And they're like, oh, that was our guidance. And I was like, okay, do you want to sit here for 3 hours filling jerry cans while I run them over to my radar and fill it? He's like, no, we're just going to fill them once and go. Who's giving you this guidance? Master Sergeant so-and-so. And I don't think this is all the Air Force. This is just the Air Force guys I was dealing with. And so I got to the BCP, got on the TAC land, and I was like, hey, Master Sergeant so-and-so, this is, I think at that time I was still Sergeant. Yeah. I was like, hey, this is Sergeant Long out here at Pad 8. He's like, yeah, what can I do for you? I was like, hey, your guys' guidance is to fill only jerry cans? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, here's the thing. They're only fueling them once. Like, I need a lot of fuel for my radar. And he's like, well, that's the guidance I gave them. They're only fueling your jerry cans once every 12 hours. And I was like, oh, okay, Master Sergeant. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but when that 4-star that is on the inside of every building who's in charge of CENTCOM calls you and says, why in the fuck is one of my strategic assets running out of fuel? I'm going to just go ahead and send him your number. He can call you directly. You guys can iron out the details, but I'm going to let him know that I called you and said, I need to fuel my radar, which is important for protecting your entire fucking airbase. But you do you. They came right back and fueled my radar. It's wild. It's wild. But yeah, I like the Aussies. They were very easy to get along with, man. They were just like, what needs fuel? Bet. Let's do it, dude. Dropping in to say fuck beans on falafel. Love making people talk to their superiors. It's like, hey man, I'm just an E5. I don't know what Master Sergeant is in the Air Force. Is that 7 or 8? In the Army it's E8. And I was just like, hey man, I'm just an E5, but just so you know, this PAT site, and I hate it. I hate how visible Patriot sites are. I fucking hate it. Because every other week, some brass, some colonel, some general, some whoever, admiral wants to come and tour the site, and I have to give them the same fucking briefing every time. I hate it. But also, the president gets a report on which systems are functional in CENTCOM every single week. Like, they get a report, hey, this many radars are functional. And if one of them is not functional, that 4-star has to explain to the president of the United States why that sensor is not functional. And do you think he wants to go tell the president of the United States it ran out of gas? as not me, man. Master Sergeant in Air Force is E6? Okay. My E7 dad is retired Master Sergeant. Okay, so Master Sergeant is E7? Okay. I just heard Fritz grumble over my headphones. He just went, like stretched or something. Expedited heavenly shipping is the forever nap. Yeah, that's fucking wild. Real men have little dogs. What is up, my dude?
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
Franklin number 469 reporting, found out the Air Force Museum has an X-Wing and Darth Vader's TIE Fighter on display next to the XB-70 for the rest of the year. Speaking of the XB-70, I feel like the kid just sitting and waiting for the lady to appear.
Weapons has taken it upon himself, and honestly, I'm letting this ride. I want to just see what happens. I'm like, fuck it, Weapons has taken it upon himself to bully the Air Force Museum. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want to. I'm not going to tell you to do it or not do it, but to bully them into letting Habitually Fat go through. Me and Nick. I would love to do the Air Force Museum, but there's a guy there, Ty Greenless, not to drop any names. He told us, and quote, we're not entertaining podcasters at the moment. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a belittlement of my things that I've done in my life, but you do you. And so, yeah, trenches were first used in the 7th century, 1,000 years or so, now still being used in warfare. I guess trenches are still useful in a way. I mean, a trench is a really effective way to get someone at a distance who's trying to stab you to not do that. Because that's ultimately what it is. A bullet is like, I want to stab that guy way over there. A bow and arrow, same thing. A missile, stabbing, it's kind of shrapnel, but same principle, right? I want to hurt those guys way over there. Trenches are very effective at dealing with things like that and keeping troops alive. Ty Greenless, you're next. Howdy, Habitual Mudflip. God damn it. Hello, from a support from Spain. I hope my VP change from help the communist shit to the Americans. Sorry for any misspelling. No, it's okay. I understand that English is probably not your first language. Thank you so much for being here. You probably, I don't know if they speak Spanish in Spain, right? Like it's not Portuguese. I know Portugal's like right around there. I don't know. Maybe it's interchangeable. I think Spain would be a wonderful partner with the United States, and it's just, you know, I think we all need to be on the same team. The same threats, you know, it's not, you know, a lot of people are like, well, it's them, it's not us. It's them, it's not us. That's part of the reason this whole thing came together. Real men have small talks. Need some dog material.
Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me.
Ty Greenless needs some dog material on his lawn. I'm local and I have dogs.
I
Got
mean,
an address?
I'm definitely not going to dox him. I don't know his address. I'm so look, the man opened the can of worms. I'm just telling you what, and honestly, I can't wait for you guys to see the War Eagles Museum one we did. That one, I'm not sure when that's coming out. Fenn is working on it. But that one, I had so much fun at the War Eagles Museum. And that's what I'm kind of learning as I do this habitually fat stuff, is the smaller institutions are so much more willing to work with us because they want people to see the history. They want people to come and visit. They want to share it with the world. And that's really all we want to do. It's these big ones. They have like some ulterior motive or something. I don't know. I can't logically think of a reason that it wouldn't be okay. Also, what is your favorite Jurassic Park dinosaur? Ooh. I like the Triceratops. They just be chilling. They're not bothering nobody. But if you fuck with them, they're a tank on legs. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Mine is the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor. Also, there's a great game called Path of Titans. What is Path of Titans? Is that like one where you get to be a dinosaur? I know there's a game out there where you like get to be a dinosaur, like the Isle or something. I haven't played it. You, Nick, should plan on visiting Fort. Oh, that's a lot of words, letters. Fort Mackinac in northern Michigan. I know Mackinac. I've been across the Mackinac Bridge. I got family up in Michigan. It's on Mackinac Island. Or Mackinac, sorry, Island. And the other is the mainland and is a restored fur trade fort. I would definitely be willing to go up to Michigan. I would like to go back to Camp Grayling. Yeah, Camp Grayling. Bro, the Isle's amazing. Better than Path of Titans? Okay. I haven't played either one of them. Nick got the nickname Speed Bump because he was ran over by a van in an exercise. I didn't know Nick had a nickname. You just gave me ammunition for the next kind of consensual. I'm excited. In other news, the U.S. is testing Australia's MQ-28 Ghost Bat drone in Florida. It has Iris-T radar capability, loyal wingman integration with F-18s, and shoots AMRAAMs. Australia, you guys are such a wild card. I love Australia, right? I do. But it's so strange because like your military industrial complex is coming up with some awesome shit. And they're very much like, hey, we know America has some good shit too, so how about we do some trading back and forth so we can both keep China at bay? And I fuck with that. And then I see like some of the way your politicians are. And I say this with love, I promise you, retarded, okay? Don't worry, some of ours are too. And like, I stare at both of those, I'm like, what is going on? It's such an enigma, right? Australia is one of those really, really weird places. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like the people and the Australian government are not on the same wavelength. I don't know. We have the Ghost Bat. Was it already in functioning, or is this just I know we've had the Ghost Bat previously, but I'm assuming this is like maybe a newer version. I don't know. Aussies were formed like us. I mean, yes, dude, I was doing a what if with Chris Cappy and
Would you
big
intercept
5808.
me? I'd intercept me.
Suggestion for habitually fat, Strategic Air Command Museum by Ashland, Nebraska. Lots of cool Cold War era aircraft and displays.
Let me look into that one. I actually really like that idea. Oh my God, what was I talking about? I completely spaced it. I'm not on a gummy right now, folks. It's higher than 40%. You forget someone's going to drop the line. Bet you won't. I mean, I'll do it. I just need to find a reason for it. It's a good joke. Thoughts on the MiG-25 Foxbat? Overhyped. Great platform. but they overstated its capabilities. That's like, I feel like that maybe a little before is when Russia really just started to like, okay, if we lie about what we have, America will spin themselves into famine. And meanwhile, Russian like oligarchs are like, yes, they will. Let me count out a few more billion rubles to pay my mistress to keep her mouth shut or whatever. I don't know what they were doing with the money, but they spent themselves into famine. I don't know enough about the Foxbat to really tell you like overall how it is. Camp Grayling is are they doing drone training up there now? Need to play DCS World? I did. I have DCS. I loaded in once. Couldn't figure out what to do, and I was like, I'm just not going to play it. Our current government is excellent. The problem we have is the same sort of political brain rot the U.S. does. We have our own Marjorie Taylor and our own Trump while lobbyists push through the dumbest shit. And that's what bothers me, man. Like I feel like Australians and Americans, by and large, especially in the South, would just like really vibe with one another. I think we would be really cool friends. Unfortunately, we're just kind of on two different sides of the fucking planet. But yeah, it's just, but you know, that's how it is, right? When it comes to like any politician in general, I love to quote the band Woven War, when they say it's always the loudest who voice only their ignorance. Part of my job is talking. So like, yes, that does make me look a little bit silly, but like if you ever, you know, when I was in meetings and briefings, I was always very quiet. I did that for two reasons. One, I want to try and understand the information and I would ask questions about said information. But number two, if you're quiet when you do speak up, people tend to listen. But if you're the one guy in the room who never shuts the fuck up, no one cares. No one with any real like priority gives a shit. You'll teach me DCS? I gotta have time for DCS. Camp Grayling is a drone training center now. I know they were talking about drones, and I was working with General, I can't remember his name. He was in charge of Camp Grayling, and he came down to Fort Sill, and we sat down because he brought us out there to like, hey, I want to integrate air defense into our training. And I was like, okay, do you have like an op task link? And I was in their SIPR room, and they're like, yeah, here's our op task link. I was like, oh shit, okay. Do you have a task order? And they're like, yeah, here's our task order. And I was like, airspace control measures? You're like, yeah, here. You guys literally have everything we need to do our job here. Like, this is perfect. Like, we could just show up. It's all taken care of. And so we briefed that to Sergeant Major, I can't remember his name. He was the Sergeant Major of Air Defense Artillery. And he was like, I would love to send air defense up there because right now we don't have a cold weather training site in the Army, aside from like maybe Alaska. But for air defense specifically, we don't have a cold weather training site. What are we going to do? More rotations at NTC to be sent to Europe? That's stupid. Why are we training in a desert to go to fucking tundra? Like, no bueno. So that is what I was trying to push, but I guess yeah. All for Article 5. Our Navy has a shadow of its former self, but the Army... you must be maybe British? I don't know. There's a lot of countries that have kind of let their Navy falter. Navies are expensive. The U.S. Navy is by far the most expensive branch of the United States military. And that's to their benefit. They just take their base with them. We don't do that.
I'd intercept me.
Did you see the Artemis 2
I
explosion?
did.
It's the largest explosion in the US.
Was that Artemis 2? I thought it was blue, whatever. I didn't know it was an Artemis one. Yeah, the one on Cape Canaveral. I saw that. I was like, God damn. But it happened after I made that last video. So it'll be in the next one. I'm curious, what would HLC do for a White House 250th celebration? That's a wonderful question. Parade is kind of a standard. You're going to have a parade. Flyovers, pretty standard stuff. But what I think is incredibly important is because, yes, we are a warrior nation. I would try and find a way that I could encapsulate war stories. I would grab some of the oldest vets, some of the newest vets, and I would have them, I mean, I would make them out of like stone or something like that, or just a way that they could like share a story from their experiences, serving this beautiful nation we're a part of. I would, pay homage to certain historical events that have happened in our history, take time to talk about, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, everything that has happened from the birth of our nation onward. Significant victories we've had, not reliance, but the beautiful host nation partners that we have around the world that work very, very closely with our forces. I think that is a more of a symbolic statement rather than like we're going to fight, me personally. And I think that it's important that we talk about our host nation allies because we wouldn't have global strike capability without them. Now, there's a lot of red tape there and they sometimes give us problems and it is what it is. But I think that that's very vitally important to talk about when talking about American power projection and, the American force around the world. Obviously, probably a speech. I mean, I feel like there's probably going to be a parade and a speech and then the fight, but I don't know what else. Blue Angels or Thunderbirds? Would you believe me if I told you I've never seen either team perform? But I did get an invite from a member of the F-22 demo team and the guy who does the pyro for the B-1 Lancer, like the big old explosion and stuff. And I'll be seeing them at Oshkosh and like doing tours and stuff. So I'll be out at Oshkosh. I'll be there. Submarine races for America 250. Everyone just staring at the water like, who's winning? I don't know. Boggy Depot, Oklahoma. I don't even know what that is, but I'll look into it. Problem is less with slapping the wolf and more with no having a plan in place ready to go, keep the strait open while the obvious happens. Well, here's the thing. Closing the strait is far more in their hands because they don't have these tricky little things that we have to deal with called morals. You only need one. You only need one drone, one bomb, one anything. That's all you need to close the strait. And closing the strait, while it is affecting the global economy, you got to understand, I think that closing the strait shows far more desperation in Iran than a power move. It's their nuclear option. There's nothing else that they can do that will affect anyone else in the world as much as closing that strait. That is their nuclear option. And I think that is far more indicative of an act of desperation because you don't use your nuclear option. You save it until you absolutely need it. They absolutely need it. Oh, it's a Blue Origin explosion. What do weapons say? F-22 is only good at air shows. Whoa, 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 whoa. I may have to demod weapons there talking about the kid like that. For the 250th, they should have a UFC fight of Lincoln and Washington and finally settle the score. Did they fight before? I don't even know if they... No, they wouldn't have lived in the same time period. Would they? Washington was president 1776 to, well, technically our nation wasn't finished until like, 70, 78, 79, somewhere around there. And Lincoln wasn't president until 1865. And people didn't live that long back then. I don't know. Maybe. Red Arrows, Blue Angels. There I said it. It's one thing the RAF still has. It's worth the damn. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to just go ahead and quote the old, I don't even know where it's from. It's an old adage for the military is no war ready unit ever passed inspection and no inspection ready unit ever succeeded in war. I get that question a lot. How does the kid like the F-47's canards? So I looked into it. That picture that they showed, like the F-47's coming, the Air Force themselves announced that that's not what the platform looks like. So I'm willing to be wrong. It could look like that. They could be bamboozling us. The government is known to do those things. But yeah. Abe Lincoln was born 10 years after Washington's death. There we go. With respect, sir, I'm going with the Blues. I don't know, man. I do love me some, can I get a hell yeah? But yeah, the F-16, man. Kid signs up for the UFC fight against the J-20 and Su-57 handicap match. Dude, that would have to be heavily handicapped match. Are we sending in the kid with no wings and only the Vulcan cannon, they might have a chance then. Oh, damn it. It did that thing again. Oh, and now I'm way too far behind. I think I might have missed some things. We need to weaponize Australian flora and wildlife. I would not be surprised if members of Australia were weaponizing some of the venomous creatures out there. Not like having the creature attack someone, but like, I don't know, putting venom into a high explosive so even if they just get like wounded in the leg, they still die. Look, if Australia hasn't thought of that yet, then I genuinely question the military minds in Australia. But that's what I would do. I mean, fuck the blow darts and things like that. If you could just dunk a 155 shell in a whole bunch of venom and then fire it so that all the shrapnel, anytime it hits somebody, even if it's in like the leg, they still dead. There might be laws against that. Give them to Canada. If there's not laws against it, Canada will find them. So, Aaron Schlatter, thank you so much. Slatter, I don't know how to say that. U.S. Florida guys can relate to Aussies. Floridians are another breed. You guys are just so nonchalant about murderous things. It's so strange to me. Where are the Franklin plushies? There's one there. They sold out quick. Within a weekend, they were gone. They were gone. Did I ever get around to looking to War of Crimea? Last time I mentioned it was a while ago, though. I did not. There was something I looked into for somebody recently, and I can't remember what it was. Shit. Dude, there's so much useless information bouncing around my brain. Tell your boy Fen the AI info sheets might look good, but the info might need a once-over. Ghostbat is Boeing. It's not exactly our MIC. I will talk to Fen about using those. So I try and read the comments and learn from the things. You guys didn't like the red lettering. So I was like, Fen, get rid of the red lettering. They don't like it. It's hard to read. Just go back to white. And yeah. So Cappy and I both read those things. You got number 94 Franklin plushie? It's not a war crime the first time. We have already weaponized animals. It's called the Cobra Chicken. I hate Canadian geese. God, they're assholes. If you've never dealt with a Canadian goose, like I hear that, what are they called? The black and white birds in Australia. Oh my God. What is the name of those damn birds? Those things are pretty bad. I want to know if one of those went toe to toe with a Cobra chicken. I mean, Cobra chicken's got it on weight alone, but maybe magpie. There you go. Magpies. We also have magpies here, but apparently ours are not nearly as violent as the Australian ones. But Australia also has cassowaries, which is a violent, angry, partially armored ostrich. Like it's Christ, man. Why? Why does that exist in the world? Australia. Just Australia. Every time I see a tarantula hawk out here in the American Southwest, I'm just like, how are you here? You should go to Australia. That's where you belong. Every time I see one here. UK fat city pigeon solos any animal. I don't know, man. Cobra chickens are violent. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds, and they will charge me and attack me. Red arrows fly BAE hawks, also piping strike magpie. Clears the Cobra chicken. I don't know, man. That may have to go out to the world because, dude, Cobra chickens are violent creatures. They hiss when they're coming at you. You'd think like they would honk. No, they hiss. And then they open their mouth and you see like, almost looks like serrated teeth, but I guess it's like the same stuff like our fingernails are made out of, and it helps them like catch fish or whatever they eat. I don't know, but it looks like Satan's vagina. Okay. Look, when a Canadian goose is hissing at you and running at you full speed, wings open, and literally trying to climb your face, they're angry creatures. Yes, I'm 6'2". Don't forget the canopies of spiders. Oh, dude. The spiders down there. Australia gets that. Australia gets that, okay? When it comes to the world of spiders and snakes, Australia takes it. That you can keep those. I kind of want to see RFK go down to Australia. Oh, this one right here. It can kill a man with one bite. And just starts picking them up. It's just, yeah. Stand your ground. Remember, the goose cannot legally attack you. Wait. Is that a thing? Can I punch a goose if it attacks me? I wait until I have 1,200 viewers to say that. Yeah, worth it. Is America even a member of NATO anymore? I mean, right now we're the hedge fund of NATO. I know that. We did have, so that video I made, it was like a short. I put it on Reels and stuff. Talking about Lieutenant Colonel Dauber. He's a 1-star now. I loathe this man. Dude, I had air defenders come out of the woodworks telling me about their terrible experiences with that man. Like, this is how bad. He has done one thing that I was like, that's gangster. That's gangster. Because he'll say whatever to whoever. He doesn't give a shit. And when they were in Turkey, because I wasn't there with them, I arrived at the unit. They were in Turkey. They had like a month left in Turkey, and then they came back. But when they were in Turkey, he was in the rear with us. And I was like, you're the battalion commander. Why are you not with your unit? Like, what the fuck is going on? Come to find out, he was in a briefing talking about threats and threat profiles. So it was a classified briefing, and two or three Turkish generals, like 4-stars, are sitting in this room. And he said the largest threat to American forces in Gaziantep, Turkey, is the Turkish. And they said, get the fuck out of my country. And he told the truth. Like, that, tactically speaking, yeah, I'd take some boss ass moves to say that shit. So Constantinople, not Istanbul. Wait, what? What are we talking about Greece for? That's Greece, right? Or is it? Shit. My American education is showing through. That's my boy. Yeah, we speak Spanish. Yeah, we should choose the right side of history. Viva la libertad. Carajo, any Spanish spectator will know that one. That's long live liberty. Oh, carajo. I'm unfamiliar with that word. I know poquito español, but it's Mexican Spanish. Not much. My contractor, he doesn't speak any English, but his guys work their asses off. I use this dude. He did repairs on my house. He painted my house. He fucking, he put up a fence for me that, cause I just wasn't here. I was traveling a lot, and now he's working on my business, getting that all set up for everybody. Like, dude works his ass off. Doesn't speak any English. He's awesome. Every time we get together, I'm like, give me some more Spanish words. I'm trying. Mexican Spanish, yes, weapons, that's the thing. Mexican Spanish, Puerto Rican Spanish, and Spain Spanish are all slightly different. They can kind of understand each other, but not great. Hold up, I just got here. What's going on with Article 5? Who attacked? So, bringing that up again? No, it's fine. You just got here. So, Romania, which is a member of NATO, they had a allegedly Russian. I'm saying allegedly because, it was probably tracked from Russia. Look, somebody knows exactly where it came from. There's an Aegis ashore in Romania. We know where it came from. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind. However, it struck a apartment building full of civilians. Last I checked, no one was killed. It was like 3 wounded. One of them was pretty severely. I don't know if that has changed. But yeah. Pues claro que sí, cabrón. What about cabrón? I know it's a curse word. I can't remember which one that is. Is that asshole? No. I'm not great at Spanish, man. You should try Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries. Just tune in the 1990s cartoon into DLC, relive the childhood. I've been looking at Mech Warrior 5. I don't want to get into a game. Like, I love mech games. I love them. I think they're so much fun, right? But I like the, like, I like the big lumbering mechs. And last I checked, like, the Mech Warrior ones are kind of like Konami mechs, where they like slide across and shit like that, and they like move super fast and they fly, and I don't want that. I want to feel like I'm in a mech. But I did see some gameplay from Mech Warrior 5 where they did stuff like that. So how much to do a gummy stream? What are your thoughts about the cannabis gun rights case in the Supreme Court? I'm unfamiliar with the cannabis and gun rights thing. I will tell you from personal experience, I don't really do gummy streams. I haven't done one yet. I'm not saying it's off the table, but I just haven't done one yet. And so for me personally, it has had zero effect on my temperament. Now, in the state of New Mexico, where I currently reside, if you have a license to conceal carry and then you go get a license for medical marijuana for whatever reason, because you can get higher stuff with medicinal, then oh no. Oh no. Hold on, I gotta check something. Fen is texting me right now. Hold on, I gotta check something, guys, here real quick. You're gonna hear. Actually, I'm gonna mute that so you don't hear it. Hold on. It was this one, right? No. Nope, it was this one. No, he's saying the playback on my video, my USA versus the world, is not good. I got to do an upload here real quick. I got to send this back to Fen. Sorry, I got to just quick timeout. All right. All right, there we go. Mech Warrior has that ka-chunk that I'm looking for? Okay. Testing out the upload speed of my fucking internet, that's for sure, boys. So I don't know anything about that in the Supreme Court with that. I think that we're on the path to make it federally legalized once the pharmaceutical companies have enough money that they can make out of it. Once politicians and pharmaceutical money or companies can make money off of it, it'll be federally legalized. And I hate that that's true, but it's the way it is. I don't think this is the thing. And if they're talking about people not having the right to the Second Amendment, if they need cannabis, then, if they use cannabis, then I would argue that anyone who drinks alcohol should not have their Second Amendment right as well. It's just a slippery slope. I don't know if that's what's going on. I'm going to need 60 days with that timeout. Opinion on the J35 from China. Looks good. It's just not as good as what we have. You got to understand, there's a big difference between everyone's standards of everything. Okay. And when I say that, I mean like stealth standards. In the US, it is required a greater than 90% reduction in radar cross section. So if, let's say, an aircraft is 10 feet wide, just because its math is simple. On a radar, it has to be, let's say its radar cross section is 10 meters squared for math purposes. It's to be constituted as a stealth aircraft, it has to be reduced to the size on radar cross section of, what is that? 1 square meter? That or better, to be considered stealth. Russia doesn't have that standard for stealth, which is why the Su-57 is listed by NATO as reduced visibility. Now, the J-20 is significantly better than the Su-57, but it's also 100 times larger than the F-22. J-20, I know we're talking about the J-35, but so F-22, it's like 0.001, I think it's 3 zeros, 1 meter squared. J-20 is 100 times larger than that, so I think it's 0.1 or 0.01 meters squared. And then the Su-57 is 100 times larger than that. So it doesn't even meet the standards for reduced or for stealth. The J-20 does, but not the Su-57. Now the J-35, I don't know enough about the details, but I would hope that they've progressed past a radar cross section that's that size. Because when it comes to stealth aircraft, it's not, I'm going to be invisible forever. It's not. It's how long can you be invisible before you have to defend yourself. So basically, you have 2 stealth aircraft coming at each other. This one has a slightly larger radar cross section than this one. Let's say that for training purposes, they both have the exact same radar. They have the exact same detection range, the same amount of power, which will never happen, but I'm just saying for training purposes. And as they get closer, this one is going to pick up this one before this one picks up this one. So he's going to get first shot. That's how it works. Have I seen the Su-57D? I have not. Oh, Blue Angels or Thunderbirds? I've never seen either one of them. I'm sorry. Hey there, Mudflap. How's it hanging? It's kind of cold in here, so not bad. Favorite plane for me is the F-86 Sabre. Battle of Palmdale guy right here. Because it's my grandpa worked on in the Korean War. Well, Korean. You said Korean, but I put war at the end because I understand. Was your grandpa also in the Battle of Palmdale? Did he work on those aircraft? I'm sorry. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Battle of Palmdale, a rogue drone, it was a U.S. drone. It was a target drone. It got loose. They sent F-86 Sabres after it, and they burned down a large portion of Palmdale, California, trying to shoot it down, and then it eventually just crashed on its own. That's the thing. That's a real thing. I did a video about it on HLC State of Mind over on Pepperbox. Is it Protocol 4 time? It is Protocol 4 time. Look at the camera. Look how comfy he is. Look at that. That dude, he has 2 brain cells in there and they're competing for third place. There's nothing going on inside. Oh, is that the D model? Is the 2-seater Su-57? He looked, I don't want to ruin that sleep, but. Oh, there we go. That's my boy. Good boy. There you guys go. All right, you're so nice, and Mrs. Landcrosser is going to be home soon. You get another one, and another one. There we go. All right, good boy. You can go ahead and go sleep now. You can go to sleep. That's my best bud. Fritz, I'm sorry, he's been here longer. He's my best bud. I love you, but your brother is my best bud. If someone sends you a foam sword to your mailbox, would you engage Nick in a duel on Unsub? Bet. 100%. Without question. I just got to figure out can you take a foam sword on a plane? I would assume so, but the TSA doesn't make any fucking sense. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 government entities that cost the United States millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars every single year, and they have yet to effectively save a single American life. This is the ATF and the TSA. I'm sorry. Romania got hit by a stray Shahhead. Yeah, it doesn't, I'm just going off of vibes at this point. I don't have any more information than you guys have. It doesn't hit me as a false flag. It doesn't. Just because of what was hit. If you want to make something significant, you pick on the big brother. Like, we have troops all over Europe. There are plenty of them that don't have active air defense systems at one point in time. Okay. It's a real possibility. If I wanted to trigger Article 5 and get NATO involved, that's the false flag that I would do. Okay. So the USPS has saved a life. I believe so. Probably with the postal inspectors. Because, like, if people are shipping bombs and stuff like that, I think it was the postal inspectors who were largely, who was that? Was that the Unabomber that was doing, like, mailbox bombs that were killing people? I think the postal inspectors had a whole lot to do with that. I mean, FBI as well, but yeah. Shithead drones have already been flexed on. Never be sorry for telling the truth. You right. It was Blue Origin and it was equivalent to 200 or 300 tons of TNT. A 2 or 3 kiloton explosive that is conventional. That's a lot of fuel. Rocket fuel goes hard, folks. Rocket fuel, this is what people don't understand about, like, rocket fuel, especially solid state rocket fuel. It burns regardless. Emus worse than geese and petting zoos. Magpies are filmed more, but plovers are worse. Wedge-tailed eagles take out cats and kangaroos. You have birds that take out... Of course you do. Of course Australia does. I saw the rescuers down under. The big ass golden eagle thing you guys have down there that's just massive, that, like, the kid was riding and you'd be like, it's not really big enough for a kid to ride. And then you see one and you're like, yeah, you could put a toddler on that. Damn Australians. That's honestly, that's part of what I got to worry about with Fritz. I mean, he's 16 pounds. He's a pretty good sized guy. Um, but I worry about like when Nox isn't around, because Nox will fight anything. I mean, he has a good energy for at least a little while. He's kind of an old boy now. He's about to be 12. Shit, that's an old boy. But usually it's a deterrent. Like there's coyotes and javelinas out here. Javelinas won't really fuck with dogs usually, but coyotes will. And so I got to go outside with him when Fritz goes to the bathroom at night, because there's a possibility that a coyote will come into the yard and then I have to fight a coyote, which wouldn't be the worst thing. I think I could take a coyote. Do you know the bird, the peregrine falcon, is one of my favorite birds. It is the fastest animal on the planet. It can dive at 200 miles an hour. And no, that's not a typo. That's not made up. I've seen them go for they don't get very big. They're pretty small overall, but diving at 200 miles, like you think that this bird just died in the air, because it just locks up and it becomes a bullet and it's just screaming at the ground, just screaming at it. And like 4 feet off the ground, wings open, talons extend, grab, and gone. Like it's so wild. It is basically a missile bird. It's so violent. Favorite dinos, the tank. Oh, those are Pachyosaurus. I played a lot of Ark once upon a time. Can we buy like a part of an episode? Like it would be really cool if I could get the next one to be primarily Poland. In their opinion, what happened in Romania. Once again, this is for the doggos. I mean, Poland's going to be mentioned in this next one. There's no mention of Article 5 in this world without Poland getting involved. And dude, every time either Poland A has the best propaganda campaign that I have ever seen, better than Russia, better than Iran, better than Hamas. They either A have the best propaganda that I have ever seen, or they're just based, which is far cheaper. I will say it. They're just like, in Poland, you can't do this shit. Why? Because everyone else is dealing with that shit, and I don't want to deal with that shit. And it's like, could you? I love Poland. It's so great. The shit that they do. They're like, yeah, no, you can bring that shit elsewhere. You're not playing it here in Poland. I love Poland. Hi, Plops. This is all. Well, hello there, Jester. Just wanted to hop in and say, you, Nick, and all the guys are absolute legends. Love y'all's content. Well, thank you so much. I enjoy just doing this stuff for you guys. I'm not gonna lie, us Plops over there on Pepperbox, dude. I love being on Pepperbox. Don't get me wrong. I love the freedom that it gives me. I love it. But every time I turn around, they're like, hey, well, let's create a new show with this. And I'm like, guys, I already have 0 time. What are we going to do? And they're like, well, just stop sleeping or eating. Just don't do that. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? Like, dude, everyone on Pepperbox that I know of is balls to the wall on content, because we really do genuinely believe in the platform and we think it's a great thing and we want it to continue. So that's why they're like trying to pick the right people to come over to the platform, because like they bring their audience with them. Obviously it's a business no matter what, but at the same time, we want people who are going to produce. We want people who are going to just like actually do something there. Not just, hey, I'm going to just start making a video once in a while over on this platform. I have 4 exclusives on Pepperbox. 4. Habitually Fat, HLC State of Mind, What If, and kind of Consensual. I'm tired, boss. Like I am burned out. But I'm this is the thing. If I was so burned out I couldn't go anymore, I would let you guys know, like, hey, I need to take a week off. But I'm still going, right? Jake and the Fat Man Talk International Law. I would just rage bait Jake the entire time. If we did that show, I would just rage bait him. I'd be like, so what you're telling me is it's legal for me to eliminate enemies of the United States. Well, no, it's not really legal. There's the blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. What I'm hearing is if I go to another country and there's a bad guy there that the U.S. is deemed as I'm just going to rage bait him the whole time. That's it. Is Franklin still in the sauce? I got to think of something weird. Hold on. God, this is taking longer than I thought. Yeah, he just got back. He was going to go to the grocery store, but he got sidetracked. He found an elevator, and he found out one of his favorite things to do is to put on a lab coat and carry a clipboard, and when the elevator doors open, just run out and say, Eureka, I got it. They called animal control. Yeah. When do we see you play map painting game on stream? Map painting game. There's a map painting game? This is going to piss people off, but kinda is better than unsub. I love the unsub, guys. I really do. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I told Eli this, and I was kind of in my feels earlier this week. Maybe it was like my man period or something. I'm actively giving it everything I got. I'm actively going to the gym. I'm actively eating better food, smaller portions. I'm making these life decisions. The fat jokes are getting to me. There's no shame in my game. That's why I made that little Instagram story earlier. I was just like, I have to get over it because I'm kind of a public figure to some point on the internet, and people are going to talk shit. And those dudes would just never say it to me. Or like I always get, you're taller than I thought you were. I always get that. Always. But I will say Nico's significantly taller than I thought. I thought Nico was a short little dude. He's like my height. He might be an inch taller than me. Nico's tall. As busy you are, I rarely see you as much as I used to. Almost all of it's on Pepperbox, man. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I'm big boned. Bones don't jiggle when you walk. You're wrong on that. It's like English, a few words change. Carajo is like fuck, but in a good way. Y cabron would be a bad word or a good, depending. You guys, hold on. As far as I know, Spain does not have way. Now, to all the English speakers, that might be strange, but like way is like fool. Like if you accidentally like bump into a Mexican dude down here, be like, ay güey, pizza tu madre, tu madre's way or some shit like that. They use way a lot, which I'm told is like a translation to like fool. Like, hey fool, you stop doing that shit. Or like, that's what I'm told. I have no idea. High time we bully Captain Slavtard. Also an idea for the Wisconsin tour Fort Winnebago in Portage. The fort itself is gone, but the surgeon's quarters still stands. King Trader Jeff Davis served there as a lieutenant. Everything's on the table. So I'll tell you guys, Nick's schedule is insane. It is insane, and it's so hard to get things. So like, I'm still like, hard charging on it. I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but he has other things. So, I mean, there's 1,100 of y'all in here. Let me ask. Would you guys still watch Habitually Fat episodes if Nick was unable to attend and I just grabbed Fenn and maybe one of the other guys I know, like Zach or Brandon or Cody or whoever I can find that has time, and I just brought them with me for a Habitually Fat episode? Like, would you guys still watch those episodes? Because I'm big fans of like history and stuff. Fritz, it's okay. No, you're not coming up here right now. You already had dinner. I've given you several snacks. You can go lay down. It's fine. Also, Franklin Prime checks in. You guys would watch? Or Jack? I love Jack. We did an episode with Jack out at the Alamo. I love Jack Mandeville. I cherish that man. He is so fucking smart. Dude, the shit he knows is insane. And I'm like, every time I talk to Jack, I'm like, Jack, why are you always like this just chain smoking, like middle-aged divorced dad, like goober on the internet when you are this fucking smart? He's like, I typecast. Like, he's like, I know the way I am, but like with Jacked history that he's come out with over on Pepperbox, dude, it's so much fun. Dude, I like that show. It's great. Hola, HLC. I'm in New Mexico. He's in the walls. I'm just kidding. Well, I hope you enjoy it while you're down here. We have the best green chili on earth. Fight me. And before anyone's like, well, no, California green chili or this green chili, where do your chilies come from? Hatch, New Mexico, 60 miles away from me here. Fucking get dunked on. Hatch chili comes from Hatch, New Mexico. Fight me. We're the best green chili. Chili rellenos, that's the one Mexican food I don't like. That is the one. Everything else, phenomenal. 10 out of 10. I'm also not really a fan of, what's that, like dark, almost molasses stuff? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's like black. Not really a fan of that, but chili rellenos, I'm just not a fan of. This is my autism showing. There is a ratio in every food for how much of what is supposed to be in that food. And if you fuck up that ratio for me, no bueno. Chili rellenos have a poor wrap to cheese to chili ratio. Everyone that I've ever had, they just have a poor ratio. I would probably like them if they need to up the chili, maybe put a thicker, wrap on the outside of it, or something like that. I think that's That's the way we need to go. Like my wife brought home these grapes, fucking massive grapes. I took a bite of one and I was like, mm-mm. There's a ratio for the center of a grape and the skin on the outside. There is a ratio. Just like with Oreos. Single stuff, gross. Mega stuff, too much. Double stuff, perfect. That is the ratio that should exist. Mole. There you go. Mole is the brown stuff. Yeah, I'm not a fan of mole. Pueblo green chilies are better. Fuck you, Pink King. Get out of here. You know what? Mods mute Pink King. I'm just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I actually like him. Franklin Prime is going to say Fritz post confirms your upper torso is bigger than mine. Oh, Finn's post. Yeah. People like, oh, Fritz is just a little guy. And then when Fenn was holding Fritz, a bunch of the comments were like, I didn't know Fritz was a unit, man. Like he's big. And they're like, how big is HLC? Like, yeah, I'm 6'2", 250 right now. Hey, you keep on scratching at me? Is that what you want? You want to come up here? Come on. Okay. Well, look. Is that the daddy? Oh, I had your seatbelt off. Okay, I'll put it back on. Okay, put your hands down. You're fine. Okay. I got to keep the seatbelt on him, or else he could fall and die. Habitually fat idea, Medal of Honor Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee. That is on the list. I haven't reached out to them yet. 100%. I do want to see that. I didn't know where it was at. Is that the National Medal of Honor Museum, or is that in DC? Because I know, like, I do want to do a Medal of Honor Museum, because every Medal of Honor has such just crazy stories of valor, sacrifice, and bravery. It's wild, man. Where the great locomotive chase ended outside of Ringgold, Georgia. 6'6", 270? You a big boy, Tyler. But you know what? I have a J-Wolf. If you guys are unfamiliar with J-Wolf, he's I don't really know what J-Wolf is. He is... Oh, hold on. He is 7'1" or 7'3" and 500 pounds. He's giving me a piggyback ride. He did that at the Iowa show. And I suddenly want to get him all jacked and get someone to 3D print Space Marine armor, because that dude would kill at a Comic-Con. He is a monster, but he is so nice. He's so polite. He's such just a good dude. He's so easy to get along with, man. You were wigging out, so I put you down. No, you're not getting any more. You're going to get fat like me. Do you want to be like me? He's just looking at me all confused. 6 foot, 280, 200. The dog has belly. You talking about Knox? He got a little belly. He's a big boy. But yeah, no, dude, J-Wolf is a fucking unit. He is and he played D1 football. I can't imagine. He played, I don't know if it was O-line or D-line. Either way, can you imagine? Like, I'm a pretty good sized dude. 6'2", 250. I'm a pretty good sized dude. Staring down a 7'3", 500 pound man. What am I going to do there? I could grab his legs, maybe, but then if he falls on me, I'm dead. Like, it's... He says, dang, you dudes are huge. No, man. This is the thing. I think I don't know what it is. I got on that part of Instagram that, like, women have an unrealistic expectation. Like, he's got to be over this tall. He's got to make this much money when they bring nothing to the table. But there's also delusional dudes. Like, she has to be a size this. She has to... What happened to, like, being with someone you care about? That's a wild idea. But like my brother-in-law, he's short. I say short. He's like 5'5", 5'6". Like, he's not a very big dude. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my entire life. Super smart, well-rounded, responsible. He cooks, he cleans. He's not single, ladies. Sorry for all 2 of you that are in here. But he's really, really good dude. And when he was out in the dating world, he's like, women would ask my height. And I was like, when they do, ask their weight. Just saying, one of those things can be dealt with. The other one cannot. I'm 6'1", 255 down to 190. Or I was 255 down to 190. Dude, good shit, man. 5'8", 145, y'all big. I come from a family of giants, and apparently, according to, I can't remember which sister-in-law it was, but we were at a family gathering, and she said, and it's one of my favorite things to say about my family, is we're a family of giants and we all speak in capital letters. That checks out. We're loud people. 3 ladies just been listening. Pepperbox is fun as fuck. Love all the plops, dude. I have so much fun in there. I get to say whatever I want to. Fat stuff. I'm 193 centimeters. What's that in Wins World Wars and has a flag on the moon? And 110 kilograms most of the time. Hey Siri. How much is 110 kilograms in pounds?
110 kilograms is 242.51 pounds.
Okay. Hey Siri. How tall is 193 centimeters in inches and feet?
Okay, I found this on the web for how tall is 193 centimeters in inches and feet. Check it out.
Don't just show me a fucking article. How many stones am I? What is a stone? Isn't a stone like 20 pounds or something? Oh, man. Skit idea. The nerd meets his brother, i.e. the Japanese version and his Hussar version. I had to think about it for a second because I thought you meant like the historical. I was like, there was a lightning in Japan, and then my brain picked it up. Then he could meet his a deer one, the Israeli one, and that one I'll just have to use Photoshop and put ridges on the wings of the aircraft. That's what we had to do before we sold in the F-35. I'm sorry. It's a good joke. I don't care what anyone says. That's a good joke. No, Zach, go solo. I mean, I would go solo. The trick to any good episode of Habitually Fat is you need 2 things. You need a good displays, like with great history, and somebody who's excited about sharing it. So I always try and, like, when I talk to these places, I'm like, who do you have who is the most geeked out about everything you have there? I want that person who, like, eats, sleeps, and breathes that establishment. I want that person because they're always so excited to share it with me. Those are the people I want. Don't worry, my brother in diabetes, the weight will reappear. I got perfect blood sugar. My family is from New Mexico. I grew up on Hatch green chili. Hatch is where it's at. I think Sparky's is a little overrated, which is like the restaurant in Hatch. I mean, the line around the building every single day. Their burgers are pretty good, but it's just a good burger. When I would go there, I haven't been there in a long time. I would get one called, and I'm going to get shit for this. I think it's called the Porker, the Oinker, something like that. It had pulled pork and green chili on top of a cheeseburger. I think I would add bacon too. Because if I'm going to eat something bad for me, I'm going all the way bad. Not like meth, but just bad food. Like, I'm going all the way there. Just tuning in. What happened in the world today? Rogue Russian drone landed in Romania. And we're all kind of just waiting to see what happens. So a few years ago, I went 13 days with no food, only water. Went from 186 to 132. I'm not going to try that again. Oh, you're talking about like fasting. This is the thing, guys. You got to understand. I can handle really anything. Like, there's not much else that bothers me. And I've told my wife this. I can deal with hot weather. It makes me sweat. It's a little uncomfortable. Whatever. I can deal with cold weather. Makes you shiver. You know, whatever. It happens. It's not comfortable. I can deal with lack of sleep. Doesn't really bother me. I mean, after like 2 or 3 days awake though, it's really fun. Honestly, one of the better highs that I've had in my life. When your brain just goes, we called it auto private, because like when privates would just get so burned out and exhausted that their body is working, like, it's really a cool experience. I don't recommend it, but after like 2 or 3 days awake, you go to the bathroom out of habit, not because you feel like you have to go to the bathroom. You eat, not because you're hungry, but it's a habit. But hunger, I can't do. Dude, I can't do hunger. I cannot do hunger. Like, I can't do it. I would never be able to go through like ranger school where they starve themselves. I can deal with like carrying the weight. I can deal with like the conditions, the temperatures, not a problem. But I am not a fan of hunger. I can't do it. I can't do it. Tired high is wild. It really is. I think it hit me right about day 2 or day 3. I don't know. I was rocking about 2.5, maybe 3 hours of sleep a night for 5 months straight. And then some days I wasn't sleeping at all because I was busy. It was our patrol schedule. It's the way it is. Oh, you start seeing shit. Yeah. The shadow guys in the corners of your eye, that might've freaked some of you out, right? Like that. I get it. But I feel like the veil between consciousness and unconsciousness gets very thin when you've had that level of sleep deprivation. You see shit move out of the corner of your eye and almost looks like little shadow men. Yeah, sleep deprivation's wild, guys. Having a habitual bowl of cereal. Purple wolves? What? Sleep is your Achilles? Oh, dude, I just can't do hunger, man. It's been months since I've gotten off work in time to catch a stream. I've missed you all. Well, Devine? I don't know how to say that. Elliot, welcome back. Good to have you here, buddy. Hey, bro, been a while since I donated. I said daughter's always smiles and happy when she sees you. She's 1.5 years old. She just walked in and seen you and said, Dad, have you been to Georgia in the past 2 years? Yes, but I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't, like 15 years in Romania. It's been since I did like a one night stand. I guess I did a few other ones here. Yeah, no. I'm glad you're here, man. Ignoring your body's ways of telling you it's eating itself alive earns you respect off rip. Yeah, my body, because I was constantly in like caloric deficit while I was in the military, just to try and maintain a functional weight for what they wanted me to be, I was very regularly in a caloric deficit. So now it's like my body changed the way it tells me it's hungry. Like I get hunger pains like everybody else, right? I get just like you, when I'm hungry, I get the hunger pains. I'm like, oh man, I should probably eat something. But if I ignore that, it becomes nausea. I don't know if that happens to everybody else, but like that started happening to me probably year 5 or 6 in the military. It turns into nausea and then I don't want to eat, which just makes it worse. Like it's this weird thing. Like the human body is such a wild contraption because it'll be like, oh, you want to listen to that? Let's make it worse. We're going to just make everything miserable for you. Yeah. Fritz. Habitually fat under Udvar Hazy Museum when they have SR-71 space shuttle and the very nice woman who inspired Buff to be the Buff, Enola Gay. Ha! I wonder if that one had canards. I'm sorry. Yes, the nausea gets bad. Yeah, it's me. I'm nauseous if I wait past the pangs. Yeah, see? Okay. Those are usually the people who have ignored hunger for long periods of time or have just stayed hungry for long periods of time. I asked the doctor, I was like, hey, if I don't eat and I got hunger pains, eventually it turns into like nausea. And they're like, yeah, that's your body telling you need to eat. It's making you intentionally miserable so that you eat something. Glad you enjoyed it. I'm quite a poet on edibles. Hey. Been living off MRE for the last week? Have you pooped, Dave? Chew the gum. Not even being a smartass. There's a natural diuretic in the gum, and it's designed so that you don't tear your asshole when you're constipated. I wish I was making this up. Chew the gum. Eventually it'll tear up, like it'll break down and then you just swallow it whole. Hunger is a mindset? Bro. Not for me. Low blood sugar for the win. You physically don't feel hunger. Ooh. I can't. I don't know what, I would probably be a lot more productive in the world if I didn't feel hunger. Also, wild thing happened to me, right? So I've made it pretty clear that I'm, when I'm in the gym, head down, I do my workout and then I roll out. I don't talk to anyone except for like, there's a dude at the front. His name's Matt. Cool people. I shoot the shit with him. We've gone shooting and shit before, but I don't talk to anyone. I'm there to do my workout unless someone comes up and says, hey, are you, hey, then I'll talk to them, but I don't talk to anyone. And specifically, I use a lot of free weights. I like free weights. I feel like you get a better workout from free weights. So I was in front of the way they have these benches bolted to the ground like 6 wide. And right in front of those is the dumbbell racks. And so right behind that is a mirror. And so when like and there's like maybe 5-7 feet of distance there. So when I'm sitting on the bench, like in between sets, and a woman walks in front of me wearing something you could probably see the inside of her asshole if you look hard enough. I like, especially women in general, I look at the floor and I always wear a hat. So like, I'm not looking. I ain't ended up in a Joey Swole video. No, thank you. I'm there to do my workout. And, I was there the other day and I wasn't paying attention. I kept on like between sets, I would look down, play on my phone a little bit, maybe respond to some tweets or something. And I remember looking up and kind of looking around. And I was completely surrounded by women wearing hardly any fucking clothing. And all I could think, like, as I was doing incline press, I had like 55s or 50s in each hand, and I was doing incline press. And as I was looking at myself in the mirror, I was just like, as though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear. I was, yeah, that was my thing. Low blood sugar can make you die. Yep. Hate that it's like that, bro. You're happily married, bro. I understand that. I'm there to mind my own business. I'm there to do my job. I'm there to get my lift on. So would you have John Krakow on the podcast? I'm not sure who that is. I'm sorry. That's when you break out the buff voice. Some girl comes over. Are you using that? Listen here, Floozy. New term, habitulutely, for when you're 100% right about something and your tism kicks in. Also, Shahhed drones are late 60s US German design, pre-1979. Iran was a little bit part of before. Really? I guess I haven't looked into the history of the Shahhed drone as much. I want to look into that. I mean, the US has made one-way attack drones and target drones since World War II. Maybe even before. I mean, we've done that. So, sorry, last comment about Zach. Might sound harsh. I'm sure he's not a tool given the circle of friends. But on screen, he's easy to see why he got famous for photos and not video. I love Zach. And this is the thing. Teach their own. I'm not telling you who you can and can't watch. But I will tell you, Zach is one of the most genuine humans you'll ever meet. Like when I was all in my feels, because some other shit happened, I called Zach. I was sitting in my truck and I was like, Zach, you know everything that's going on. Did I fuck up? Like, are people mad at me? And he's like, no, dude. People are just busy. And like, he just broke everything down for me. I love Zach. Zach is like my fucking litmus test. If someone new shows up to the group and Zach doesn't vibe with them, nope. Don't care. I have no interest in speaking to you. My fuck ass bloodhound, that's what he is. He's a bloodhound. He sniffs out the fuck ass. My fuck ass bloodhound said no. So I don't really care to associate with you. Zach is that. And he's never wrong. He's never been wrong. He's always like, I'll get a text out of nowhere. Like some creator, gets outed as just being a total piece of shit. And he's like, he'll just text me and be like, got another one. Nailed it. I'm like, he's never wrong. Ever. I have a trick. It's called drinking. Some chimichangas and spiced rum. It's awesome. I haven't had a chimichanga in years. Had a buddy play ball for Wisconsin. Senior year high school, picked a D lineman up and threw him. Dead ass. Dude, football players, I would pay attention to sports, like especially football, because from a camera or from the sidelines, you can't really tell how hard of a hit was just hit. And I know we have the technology. Why don't we have sensors in their uniforms? Like in their like shoulder pads or something? That's where I would tiz him out. Be like, man, he just nailed that dude with 300 pounds per square inch or 3,000 pounds per square inch. That is the amount of force that just went into another man. Right? I would watch the shit out of football if they did that. We have the technology. Why are we not doing this? NFL has the money. I want to know that. You should watch real sport like rugby. I do watch a real sport. It's called hockey. Now, if you have a decent hockey game, you'll see some good checking, although I don't like that they got rid of like open ice checking and no hip checking. Hip checking was violent. I get why they got rid of it, but goddamn, hip checking is violent. But it's the only sport, because you can't do this in rugby, as far as I know. I'm not a rugby fan. You can't do this in soccer, can't do this in basketball, can't do this in football. If you got beef with somebody on the other team, start beating their ass. You're both just going to sit in a box for 5 minutes. Okay. Like that's hell yeah, let's go Stars. Avalanche. I am team Avalanche all day, every day. We got UFC on the White House lawn. Come on. I mean, again, I know it's not costing the American taxpayers anything. I know Dana White and Donald Trump have been friends for a long time. I don't think that it is intentionally a bad thing. I don't know. Like and I wanted that clear in the video today. Is like, I don't know if that's really what we should be doing to encapsulate the 250-year birthday of the United States. That's kind of the way I look. Bring back pistol duels. You know what's crazy is my brother irritated me when I was up visiting my nephew. He irritated me, and my Google search history is probably still in there. I Googled, is Colorado a mutual combat state? Fun fact, it's not. I think all 50 states should have mutual combat laws. I think that, dude, that would solve so many problems. You just call up your local PD, be like, hey, me and this dude got beef. Can you come here and officiate, and we're just going to engage in mutual combat? I'm on my way. Officer makes sure no one gets ground and pound, gets their head smashed on the concrete. Like, they just maintain stuff to make sure that no one is getting killed, but it's still a fight nonetheless. Mutual combat. Detroit Red Wings, ban that guy. Oh, no, I mean, don't ban him. You might get muted for that. Fuck the Red Wings. My mom is from Detroit. And I have a brother who still lives there. They're both Wings fans. But I will tell you, probably the best rivalry, if you ask me, the best rivalry in sports was late 90s, early 2000, Red Wings and Avalanche. That was one of the best rivalries in any sport. It was brutal. It was, I mean, just two teams at the top of their game going ham. You're a Bruins fan? Fucking Boston. Hey, HLC, I'm in New Mexico with my dad. We laid my mom to rest at Santa Fe National Cemetery. I'm sorry to hear that. My dad is retired E7 in the Army. Well, thank him very much for his service. I'm sorry you had to say goodbye to your mother. I'm glad you're here. Just hang out, man. We're talking about everything. Go Blackhawks, Flyers. We got any Penguins fans in chat? Those are always the weird off. They're like, go Penguins. And they have the loudest, they're like Eagles fans. They have the loudest voice, but just really nothing else going for them. I'm type 1 diabetic, and before I knew I was diabetic, I went from 205 down to 138 pounds in 3 months. Holy shit. My guy. Golden Knights. I fuck with Golden Knights. As a Yankees fan, Boston sports teams are the word. Don't talk shit on the perk. Oh, there's one. There's a Penguins fan. I meant Red Wings, Blackbird, the Birds, Attack 747s, golfers, you name it. Pretty sure HLC said never again. What did I say, never again? Fallout 5 coming sooner than we expect? I have no idea. The only one I'm waiting on right now, like in the world of AAA titles, there's two. I guess there's two. I want Halo Campaign Evolved. It's going to be a remaster with completely new, like some new missions and stuff. And it's actually going to be available to PlayStation guys. So the way that Xbox guys showed up and help out PlayStationers, I don't know. Now Xbox can return the favor and carry the PlayStation guys. We can be there for them. But the other one I'm waiting on is Fable. I like the Fable series. What about the Rangers and Devils in the 90s? That was kind of before my time, because remember Colorado had the Grizzlies? They're the Denver Grizzlies. It was like a semi-pro team before we got the Avalanche. Oklahoma had State Guard that is separate from the Department of the Military. I've been part of it for a decade. We do search and rescue and emergency management. Well, I think that in a lot of those southern states, that is vitally important when you have like such, and don't take this the wrong way, continuous natural disasters. It's not your fault. I mean, you're smack dab in the middle of Tornado Alley. You got literally the fastest airspeed ever measured on Earth was in Moore, Oklahoma. It's like 302 miles an hour. It's from that F5 that went through there. I drove through Moore after that happened. I was heading out to do a funeral for Army, like funeral guard or funeral detail. And I drove, and because Moore is right there on the south end of Oklahoma City. And, bro, oak trees that are as big around as fucking 10 of me thrown like a Frisbee. Dude, it's insane. So for places like Oklahoma and Florida to have their own standalone thing that can help out with like natural disasters, that checks out. What about Mass Effect? I didn't even play the last Mass Effect, but I played like the first two or three. I can't remember. Chat rules, no politics, no religion, all caps messages, no all caps messages, and no stings of emojis after that. Just don't get on mod bad side. What we say goes. That's Wolfram. He's my pocket Canadian. I'm going to refer to you as that. That's great. Actually, I love that. I just came up with that. That might have been Grandpa Buff flowing through me. He's my pocket Canadian, like pocket sand, but a little more war crimey. I might make that into a joke. I feel like I could tailor that into a joke. Next time Canada does something cool, I might tailor that into a joke. Caps fan here. Fuck the Pengs. He just goes, bam. Eat pickled veggies? I mean, I like veggies in general. Some of them. Like last night, I had I get these little prepackaged meals because it's about the same cost as groceries and it's super easy. And the guy's a really good cook and they're portioned out correctly. Each of them are like 500 to 700 calories. Great. And it had broccolini. Not a broccolini fan. Just not really a fan of broccoli. I don't mind broccoli. Not the hugest fan of it. Cauliflower, I'm much happier with. Asparagus, green beans, carrots. Not really a pea guy, but pickled veggies. Your team is the Dallas Cowboys? All right. Ryan, we're going to send you a VHS player so you can watch their last Super Bowl appearance. I love that joke. My father-in-law is also a Cowboys fan. I got some sports fans in here going at each other. Eat some kimchi? Yeah. That stuff comes out of your pores, man. HLC, love your content. You always make me laugh during my workday. Your characters, what does the buff think of the bone, the B1?
Look, he's a little strange. I mean, he was made like it's like they almost took a heart of a fighter and they put it in a bomber, which you'd think would be cool, but he's just fucking weird, man. He's just a little strange.
I don't do the bone voice very well. I'm sorry. Or else I would have like had a little back and forth there. The Zach test. I'm telling you, Zach is absolute. He has never been wrong. Go Steelers. Oh God. Might want to block that one. That one, you got your towel, your useless fucking towel. I hate the terrible towel. I hate it. My brother in Detroit, he's a Steelers fan and he has this terrible towel. He's got like 10 of them. Got to have the terrible towel. Hey, HLC, what are you thinking of making a trip to Minnesota? I might have to fly into Minneapolis to go to Nick's house. We got the Fagan Fighter Museum S of Granite Falls with a P-38 in SCAT 4 colors. Plus, Camp Ripley's just recently built a new military and military vehicle museum. I am not opposed to going to Minnesota. I'm not opposed at all. I've actually been there before. I went to Duluth when I was younger for a cousin's wedding. Good day, mate. How's it going? Well, we got a lot of these problems around here. A couple of cunts. People talking about the Steelers. You know what's important? Football. Not American football. Everybody else's football. I don't know. I'm making shit up. New England Patriots? Oh. I have a question for you. If you're such a diehard Pats fan, without Googling it, who was the Patriots quarterback before Tom Brady? Without Googling it. If you don't know, you're not a Pats fan. Will there be another Franklin plushie in the future? Saw a video for it. Was already sold out. Hope you and the family are doing well. Salute to you. Not from that vendor. I'm willing to, I want to talk to Bunker and maybe launch a few more of these. I don't know, just because they went so quick. I wasn't expecting them to go so quick. But this was a 2-year endeavor to get this to happen. Oh, there we go. Drew Bledsoe. Okay. I don't even know if the person who said that they're a Pats fan responded. But like, dude, every Pats fan I met in the military, they're, oh, Tom Brady. Did you hear about Tom Brady? Tom Brady just broke this. Tom Brady did that. Tom Brady. And it's like, I don't even care about football, but I was like, who was the quarterback before Tom Brady? And I wanted to go look it up. And I remember Drew Bledsoe. And I was like, I bet they're not a real Pats fan unless they know that. Because it's all about Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Did you hear about Tom Brady? And it's like, okay, got it. Cool. Tom Brady. Great. He's great at football. He's a great quarterback. I'm not down talking his accomplishments as a quarterback. Not talking shit. Okay. But you can't say you're a fan of the franchise unless you know about the franchise. Eli Manning, if I remember correctly, for Patriots. Is he in the Pats now? I don't even know who it is now. Will there be, ice hockey is the only sport where you can lose the game and still say we beat their ass. Well, used to anyways. Let's go Blues. I don't got no beef with the Blues. You know what? I want to know, there is one very austere fandom when it comes to sports, and I've only ever met one person who was a fan of them. Is anyone a Buccaneers fan? You're a Raiders fan. Pray for you. Well, I mean, you got a nice new stadium in Vegas. Aussie style football is great and produces great punters. Is that a rugby thing? Which one is better, F-16 or F-15? Depends on what you're trying to do with it. The F-16, from what I read... Okay. Not a Bucks fan, but I loved. Okay, so we do have. So from what I read, the F-16 can do a tighter turn without, it's a better dogfighter in that aspect when you're within visual range. But the F-15 is a powerhouse, can carry a lot more munitions. I don't think it can go further. I think they have about the same range, just going off the top of my head. I've never looked into that statistic. I know 2 engines, 1 engine, I get it. But the F-15 has been pretty well updated throughout the years. The F-16 is kind of like our export toy until the F-35 came online. Like, the F-16 is the most exported aircraft on Earth. Like, everybody has them. The Prince of UAE has one. Wolfram goes, yeah, sports ball. Viper can poison you with whatever that is. He used words. Viper's a rate fighter and can beat the F-15 in a rate fight, both 1 circle and 2 circle. Yes, I agree with that on the F-16. But also, I mean, if you're BVR, I'd rather have 8 missiles underneath me rather than. I mean, I don't know. I know an F-15 can carry more than 8. Okay, he's chewing on a toy. I was wondering what that noise was. College balls better go fighting Irish. You're from a state that doesn't have a national team. I'm not talking shit. I'm not. But usually states that don't have a professional team, it's all about college ball. Think about it. Everyone here in New Mexico, at least southern New Mexico, are Aggies fans. We don't have a professional team for New Mexico. Holy moly, another epic stream. We are here. Nichols, I don't know. Had a lesson in an F-16 sim last week. Really interesting. Lots of buttons. Yeah. This one makes the enemy plane dead. This one makes the friendly plane dead. This one makes you go fast. This one makes you go slow. This one makes... Well, we don't touch that one. We've never touched that one. I don't know. If you want a good place to eat, then you know somebody being a Mooch member, just like the VFW. Wait, what? Wait, what are we talking about with the Mooch members? Something good to eat? Dude, I'm all about food. Do I look like I've missed a meal? I'm comforting my Mister's niece. She was injured in basic after the spinal fusions last year. The med board came back yesterday with a discharge from the Nebraska National Guard. She's upset. And that's okay. That is okay. Gamer Valine. What I would say to your Mister's niece is, this is the thing. If you gave it everything you had and you still failed, you have nothing to be upset about. You have nothing to be upset about. The world is built on effort. That's what I mean for everybody, right? If you don't try, a lot of people won't even try to do something because they think they're going to fail. But if you tried and you failed, you're still further ahead than every single person who didn't try. Right? So there's no shame in that. As long as you know, whether you admit it or not, right, in your personal sphere, inside yourself, this is kind of an internal conversation. If you gave it 100% of everything you had, there's nothing else that could be asked of you. That's it. And I learned this because there's, when it comes to like military tactics, a commander or, a leader has to know when to capitulate. They'll like, give me liberty, or not give me liberty to death, because that is an important quote, but like, I'm going to fight to the last man in death. There are some, illogical things to that. You fight until you literally can't fight anymore. And then there's nothing to be ashamed of. And a lot of commanders that had to, capitulate were really worried. Like, I can't imagine how it felt there's a 1-star, I can't remember his name, to surrender a baton. I think it was General Johnston or something like that. He was a G. Way better than fuck ass who ran to Australia. I can't imagine the weight that man was under. But he had to decide to either let his men be slaughtered in combat when he didn't really even have any rounds left, or try and save some of their lives by capitulation. It's a terrible decision to ever have to make. And whether you're ally or not, I can't imagine that the guys who surrendered at, Stalingrad, the Germans that surrendered at Stalingrad, I can't imagine how that felt, right? Like you've just been hitting walls of Russians, and yeah, you're killing tons of them, but they're also killing you, and you're surrounded. It's the winter. You can't, get logistics in. Like, you have to make a decision at some point in time. So that's what I say, is just give 100% in everything that you do. And if you fail, fuck it. You gave it everything you had. You have nothing to be ashamed of. So someone said fix bayonets. Well, I mean, if you're Japanese, that was kind of the go-to is, you will go. But they were real big on the propaganda side of thing. They thought, U.S. Marines were going to eat them. And there's like old journals of GIs talking about women like throwing their babies off of cliffs because they thought that they were going to be sexually assaulted and then eaten by U.S. forces because that's what they believed. That's genuinely what they thought. Probably like lead. Yeah, that's probably how it felt, man. Now, there are a select few examples in American history of commanders giving up before that time, but if you left it all on the table, you got nothing to worry about. I'm a Buccaneers fan, born and raised in Tampa, even through the awful years, we're playing Hooked on Phonics tonight, folks. HLC, for context, SCAT 4 was one of Brigadier General Robin Old's USAAF, U.S. Air Force retired World War II birds. God rest his soul. I'm unfamiliar with Brigadier General Robbins. I'm not talking shit. I'm just unfamiliar. I don't know everything about everything. You know what? Is there anywhere in the country that has, I don't know if there any still exist. I know that one of them successfully landed in Russia and then they took our guys captive because they weren't officially part of it yet or something like that. But the Doolittle raid, there was some issues because they weren't fully aligned with the United States yet against Japan. I don't know. I remember reading it, but that one of our B-25s landed in Vladivostok, Russia. Did we ever? I haven't skipped anyone. I'm still trying to go through them. Did I? Hang on. I'm looking for Sage. No. But did we ever get a B-25 back? Russia was not aligned with us against Japan. Yeah, there you go. That was kind of a weird thing. Like that we were told, the Doolittle raid guys, Doolittle's guys were told don't land in Russia. Like they will take you captive. The Chinese are your best bet. You just got to hope you land somewhere that is friendly to Americans. Never recovered it. Damn. I would love to get my hands on one of the B-20, like to see one of the B-25 Mitchells that was used in the Doolittle raid. I would love to see that, but they're all just scrap. I think one of them's in the ocean. The rest of them were in China, destroyed. And then that one landed in Vladivostok. How did you see the new Su-75D? Is that the two-seater one? I haven't looked into it too much. Congratulations. They made a low observable aircraft more observable. That's, oh, he was the mastermind of Operation Bolo during Vietnam. Okay. I may not know the man, but I know his acts. I'm familiar with Operation Bolo. If you guys are not, I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, our bombers were kind of getting fucked up and attacked by MiGs. They were doing like stick and move tactics. So basically, through a little bit of not subversion. What's the word I'm looking for? Background super secret squirrel shit convinced the North Vietnamese that a flight of bombers was heading there. And when they got up there, they were F-4 Phantoms and other aircraft, and they got their shit rocked. So how do we get the Epstein files? And would you pay to buy hunting tags for those animals? 100%, 1000%. I would. I don't know what we got to do to get the Epstein file. We would have to put someone in office who has no ties to anyone on either side of the aisle from the Epstein list. And I know of one person running for office that is. That's Brandon Herrera. That's the only person I know. I don't know anyone else who's not tied to. We have to find someone because they're both trying to protect their homies. Both sides are trying to protect the people that they're cool with. It's a whole lot of like when Biden was in office. Oh, Trump's in the Epstein files. Trump's in the Epstein, and then he gets in there and he's like, "Oh, Biden's friends are in the Epstein files." They're trying to shift blame. I don't give a shit who's in it. We Americans need to deal with that. Brandon Herrera for president. Steven Crowder, like Louder with Crowder, he talked about it. I think that's his name. And we were kind of texting about it. And I was like, look, I just got dibs on Secretary of War. I just want to be Sec War. And Eli was in the group chat and he's like, why do you get it? Can we share it? And I was like, no. I got business to attend to. North Korea, that's going to be my golf course. We're coming for you, Kim Jong fat shit. I'm going to just completely ignore CENTCOM. I'm going to be like, look, Iran, do what you're going to do. Russia, do what you're going to do. We're picking a fight with North Korea. Why? Because AIPAC owns our government. That's largely true. It's not 100%, but that is largely true. Bloody hell, I'm starting shit, man. Dude, Chris Cappy, that's what I was going to talk about earlier. Chris Cappy, we were filming an episode of What If. And Cappy said one of the most profound things to me. And at first I was like, oh, that's funny. That's funny, right? And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, dear God, he's right. What? Dear God, he's right. And he said, quote, Cuba is our Taiwan. Think about it. Don't just respond. Think about it. You mean another political affiliation slightly off of our coast that doesn't align with us at all and aligns with all of our adversaries? God damn it. I hate how accurate that is. And it made me look at Taiwan in a completely different way. I was like, fuck. Now I totally get why China's kind of upset about Taiwan. Like I hate that. Like, dude, when you guys see the episode, I think it was like 20 minutes later, I'm just like, Cappy, you still fucked me up with that. Cuba is our Taiwan. We armed Taiwan, which is an adversary of China. Russia armed Cuba, which is an adversary of the United States. Like it aligns way too much. And I hate that it aligns because I like maintaining moral high ground and he just swept it out from underneath me. And I don't like that. But Taiwan has an actual economy. That is true. That's also because we control the oceans. They would probably be embargoed to all piss if it wasn't for us. We control the oceans. One of the a one-on-one pistol competition on the lawn would be much more American than POTUS takes winner. Oh, and someone acting as Franklin just laying tracks across France. Stupid word filter. No, you're good, man. You're good. I like it. I'm here for it. Let me try and go back. Okay. Fall of Singapore. Beans on Toast was more worried about looking after himself and its officers. Might have sent you a few. You did. I have the Australian book around here somewhere. It might be on my shelf back there. I don't know. But yes, I have it. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I'm still in the Horus Heresy, man. Everyone's telling me that Iran won the war. By what metric? I'm willing to engage in discourse with people, right? I'm willing to. When people say Iran won the war. Okay, what is the metric you're going off of? Casualties? No. Munitions dropped? No. Hits taken? Yeah, they've taken a lot more hits than we have. Leaders killed? No. Naval warfare? No. Like I'm willing. Iran survived. That's the easiest way to say it. Is like it's basically, it's like if you have an infestation of termites in your house. Did the termites win if one or two termites, continue to exist after all the rest of them were killed? No, but they survived and they can start to rebuild. So yeah. Did someone say heresy? Yes, I'm reading the Horus Heresy. I'm on book number 4 right now, Flight of the Einstein. And I haven't gotten to the Einstein yet, but I do really like, what's his name? Nathaniel Garrow. I fuck with that dude so far. Mama Joe Jorgensen, 2028. Who's that? We're at our 2 hours. I'm going to get caught up here and then we're probably going to call it because Mrs. Linecrosser should be home any minute. Have them race down the Daintree River swimming, bull sharks and saltwater crocs. If they manage to go the distance, they can swim the next day. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Australia again? To be fair, we kind of lost Vietnam. It's a member of metrics, right? Because so what are we measuring it off of? Well, who controls that land now? Our goal was never to control South Vietnam. Our goal was never to take over North Vietnam. Our goal was to help South Vietnam defend themselves and maintain the division of North and South Vietnam. And we did that. The Paris Peace Accords after Operation Linebacker 2. They say that, oh, the bombardment wasn't the reason that we went to the peace accords. It's like, dude, you just got your shit rocked by like every B-52 we have for like a month straight. Yes, that's why you're at the Paris Peace Accords. But they signed the Paris Peace Accords, and then that was in 1972, 73, somewhere in there. And then we left, drew down our forces, and then 2 years later, they broke the peace accords and invaded South Vietnam. So I will say, to many who don't understand like everything and how it happened, because they controlled it, but that wasn't our goal to begin with. And this is the same thing with Afghanistan. Our goal was never to control Afghanistan. And I had to kind of talk myself through this, because when Afghanistan fell, I remember saying to myself, I understand Vietnam veterans on a far deeper level than I ever thought I would. I remember saying that. But I have to tell myself, and I think this goes for all vets out there, our goal was never to take over and hold Afghanistan. Our goal was to empower the Afghan military and everything to hold it themselves. We gave them the munitions. We gave them the training. Unfortunately, you can't give somebody the spine. We could go back in and push the Taliban out with it, without question. Wouldn't be hard. We could go back in there right now and push the Taliban back out of Afghanistan. But the same thing would happen again. No matter how many years we were there, no matter how much hope we gave them people, you cannot create bravery. You can't. It's not something you're born with. Nation building is dumb. Yes. And my time's up. The Flight of the Einstein is a good book. Fantastic. How far along are you? And I think I'm only on like section or chapter 3 or 4. I only read when copium everywhere. You get a copium. Whoa, Wolfram. Again, metrics. Most aircraft destroyed. Actually, they might have us there because we had more aircraft than they did. So that's fair. KIA? Nope. WIA? Nope. Seizure and control of land? Nope. Yeah, pretty much every metric. The North Vietnamese were not winning. Copium suppositories? The reason our people dissed our soldiers, I'm just extending this for a little bit, but the reason why people came at our soldiers so hard is because, think about it, Vietnam was the first time in history war was regularly televised. Like, yeah, there was cameras in World War II, but they weren't as common. And in Vietnam, you saw what war actually looked like. And war changed in Vietnam. War became an insurgency. It was the first time America went toe-to-toe with an insurgency. So, thoughts on the Brazilians claiming they could defend against a U.S. invasion? Not on their lifetime. Considering the country is 3.2 million square miles wide and has 9 AA missile batteries with missiles that only reach up to 5.5 miles away. Yeah, they would do like Iran, survive. That's it. That's all they would do. In Vietnam, we had over 50,000 KIA. You're right. It was closer to 60,000. Actually, I think it's a little over 60,000. But the enemy, and enemy is kind of arbitrary because after they started getting beat as the NVA, they would start empowering the VC, which is hard to tell civilian versus military casualties and so on and so forth. I think it was over 1 million. So, like, it's there. Mostly to protect the Amazon rainforest. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. And for the 313,000 members of the military, they only have 250,000 rifles. A third of them are bolt action Mausers. Man, I really thought South America had more like firepower. I mean, I did the USA versus Venezuela. Maybe I could do Brazil. Argentina just got $80 billion from us, so I'm hopefully they're buying some good shit with it. Jane Fonda ring a bell? Jane Fonda, I can't wait. I don't, for the record, I'm not wishing death on Jane Fonda. However, when she does pass of natural causes, I can't wait to see what happens to her gravesite when the Vietnam vets figure out where it is. I can expect probably large amounts of human shit. there. I mean, it's just going to be bad. Yeah. Jane Fonda is the scum of the earth. I could never, no matter how immoral I think what we're doing, I would never go to an enemy POW camp and call our service members like the horrible things that she did. I would no. Good old Hanoi Jane, the best urinal. I can't wait. It's going to happen in my lifetime because Jane Fonda's already up there. She's in her 80s or 90s. She's up there. Just can't wait for Vietnam vets to figure out where Jane Fonda's buried. It's going to be so much. A river of piss. Everybody, just a river of piss. There's going to be so much. Until the Battle of Drang Valley in 1965 was the first battle of the NVA. We'd been fighting the VC before that. Really? I thought it was the other way around. I'll double check. Weapons, you're very good at history, especially American history, post-World War II, well, like World War II and forward. I'll take your word for it. Su-57D is ugly, also should be the new focus of any and all future D's nuts jokes and insults. It's got a raised rear seat like the Su-30, and it's just, as if they couldn't make it uglier. Oh my God, I got way behind. I got to stop getting off topic. Epstein list creatures can swim. Oh, those ones, yes. Try their luck with the real predators. Extended unsub crew on a boat commentating. I would learn to bowfish. Can you imagine just all the Epstein people swimming in this river that's full of saltwater crocodiles and sharks and shit, just getting followed by a bunch of red-blooded Americans who actually care about our country and our kids, just plugging them with fucking broadheads. That's better than what they deserve. It really is. Like I can't think of something that is bad. You know, people are like, oh, you know, peel their skin and throw them in salt, or the iron bull, or like all this. I have yet to find something that would make me feel like that is enough punishment for this human. I have yet to think of it. And I'm pretty damn creative. Luton for 40k lore HLC. I highly recommend you become a disciple of the great lore master, Lucian. I will check him out. Take this with a grain of salt. Possible Squad 42 announcement in the Summer Games Fest. I would love to see Squadron 42 become a thing. I would love to. But I play more Star Citizen myself. And I've been doing honest work. I got a moth on the gray market. Wolfram doesn't like that I did it, but I got a moth on the gray market. And, well, he said he didn't trust the gray market. It's not that he didn't like it. And I just been flying around aimlessly to different bases and cleaning up the crashed aircraft. It's not much, but it's honest work. It's all I'm there to do. Wolfram showed me that trick. It actually pays pretty well. When you do Brazil, check how big the Brazilian rail system is. I bet there's a Brazilian people on it. Okay, well, anyways, we're going to... Well, there you guys have it. It was so good to spend time with you this Friday evening. I will see you guys all here next Friday. Remember, if you'd like to support the channel, please go to habituallinecrosser.com. Go ahead and get yourself some merch. I don't have my music unmuted for you guys. Sorry about that. habituallinecrosser.com. Get some merch, maybe buy me a beer. But again, the cheapest and easiest way is just to support is to just watch my videos. And that's all I'll ever ask. Okay? I love all you guys. I care about you. Don't do the enemy any fucking favors. I'll see y'all next time.